The average age of a first home buyer in 2000 was around 30. Today, the average age of a first home buyer is around 37. This is a symptom of the housing affordability crisis that has taken grip in this country for decades, really ever since the Howard government policies destroyed the housing market for future generations. They were warned, they chose to go ahead. Younger Australians are no longer able to afford their own home. They're not even able to get their foot in the door for a rental property. Families who might have been able to afford their own home decades ago are now priced out of the market. The Coalition, who claim to have the miracle cure for all our housing woes, did nothing during their decade of government. We on this side of the House recognise the enormity of the situation, that an ambitious plan is required to address many of the underlying issues, and that is why the Albanese Labor government has committed an unprecedented $45 billion to build more homes, to make home ownership more affordable and to ensure that renting is accessible, secure and fair. The Albanese Labor government's plan sets an ambitious national target of 1.2 million new homes. As Minister O'Neill says, yeah, it is ambitious because it needs to be. This will involve lessening the burden of bureaucracy, red tape, ensuring there is infrastructure to service those new homes, to train more tradies who are at the heart of the process of the build. The Coalition, on the other hand, did not set a single housing target during their 10 long years in government, not even a whisper of a target. They didn't even have a housing minister for 6 of those years. They cared so little. And now they try to tell Australians that this has only been an issue for 4 years. Talk about being out of touch. The Albanese Labor government, not yet 5 years in, has already seen more than 570,000 new homes built nationwide. And we're working with states and territories to ensure that planning reforms will have tangible benefits for communities. We're modernising methods of construction to ensure efficiency and reliability, and we've seen the number of new home starts increase by 11.6% in the last year alone. We've seen construction costs brought down by 1.8%, which under the Coalition had reached a 50-year high of 17%. It is an ambitious plan that's delivering ambitious results, because these are big and complex issues that will require long-term commitment. That is why the Albanese Labor government has also committed and is on track to delivering 55,000 new social and affordable homes. If ever proof was needed that the Coalition dawdled away a decade in government, they had delivered just 373 social and affordable homes nationwide. With the Housing Australia Future Fund's first round of funding announced in September 2024, the government has already completed 6,000 new homes under that scheme, with 24,000 in planning and under construction. And again, no surprises in terms of the Coalition's determination to do all they can to do nothing, because that's 6,000 new social and affordable homes built despite the Coalition's dogged attempts to delay the Housing Fund. In fact, the Coalition made it a centrepiece of their election commitments last year to cut the Housing Australia Future Fund, a trend they continue to this day with their attempts to get rid of build-to-rent laws, Help to Buy and the 5% deposits, with no viable option to actually address the issue. All of these have been crucial in helping Australians to get into their own home, and indeed 230,000 Australians have already taken up the 5% deposit. The Shadow Minister for Housing, they now have one, has dismissed this scheme as a gimmick, which tells you all you need to know about their attitude towards broader home ownership. But by shaving years off the time you would normally take to save for a deposit, the Albanese Labor government is giving every first home buyer the opportunity to buy a house now with a small deposit and a smaller mortgage. The concept of home ownership has often been described as a dream, and it is the Australian dream. But we need to be using more concrete terms than dream. Home ownership should be available to all Australians. Renting should be accessible, secure and fair, because every Australian deserves a place where they can build their life, a place to raise a family and watch them grow, a place that provides warmth and security, where memories can be made and celebrated, a place to call home.
I thank the honourable member for the contribution.